Q posted for the first time in over a year on the day that the US Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This is very, very bad. We can tell it's bad because we're all feeling churning waves of anxiety and anger. Because we should. And we need to talk about it if we're going to keep those waves from drowning us. I'm personally lucky, I guess, in that my dad is not into Q itself, but I'm still disheartened and terrified by Q's return, even for my dad, because it's not really about Q. First of all, let's dispel the mystique. Q is not Q. Q is almost certainly Ron Watkins, the pathetic neckbeard without a beard who runs the darkest corner of the internet, as well as an embarrassing, failing congressional campaign in Arizona.
And I will make sure that your rights are kept. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
From now on, there should be no Q. There is only Ron. And Ron doesn't matter. He never did, and he never will, no matter how much he wants to. What matters is the millions of people who chose to follow, not even him really, just the swirling mass of delusional paranoia that formed around his intentionally meaningless word salads. Those are the people who have been destroying our families and threatening our democracy, and they've been getting on just fine with or without Ron. So the return of Ron also doesn't matter. It is not in any way a change in our circumstances, either as people who have to deal with this in our personal lives, or as citizens who want to live in a democratic republic. What it is a sign of what our current circumstances are and of what they may become. The only thing that makes this a big deal is that Ron hasn't posted his Q since December 2020. And the closest thing we got to an explanation was a tweet on Inauguration Day 2021. Ron made a clear choice to stop, and now he's chosen to start again. The thing that matters is why. Of course we can't know for sure. The whole point of his online existence is to be a troll. But it's pretty simple to draw a line between his retreat and the events of January 2021. If he had anything like a reasonable and emotionally intelligent understanding of the world, he might have felt that things got a little out of hand on the 6th, that they went too far, and he needed to back off. But the problem for Ron, as well as Trump and the rest, is that things went the wrong amount of far. It was far enough to bring devastating consequences down on the rioters, to make an even larger number of Americans think that MAGA Republicans are insane, and now to have hours of scathing public hearings accusing Trump and his allies of basically inventing new crimes to overthrow the government. But just not far enough to actually overthrow the government. January 6th was the day of greatest peril, while January 20th was the day of confirmed failure. The latter was the day that he gave up. If all that's the case, and I can't imagine what other case it might be, it means that he has come back now because he believes that next time, this time, things can go far enough. And he believes that it can because of the Supreme Court decision. Now that doesn't make any sense. The Supreme Court eliminating abortion as a right is a terrible, nation-rocking event. But it doesn't do anything to empower a coup. But what Ron understands is that none of this needs to make sense. That's not what it's about. What it's about is legitimacy. It's about the legitimacy of professional news media, of elections, of the rule of law, and the attempt to undo all of those things. Legitimacy is what everything rests upon, and legitimacy isn't anything more than our collective, intuitive, emotional drive to decide who is us and who has the right to have any kind of power over us. The thing is that overturning Roe is not at all a legal victory for any of Ron's goals. I'm sure he doesn't care about abortion either way, but it is, even if the justices didn't intend this at all, a symbolic victory for the right-wing extremists' manufactured identities of whiteness, maleness, Christianness, and Americanness. Not America as it really is, but America as a mythology of white, male, Christian power that will continue to be suppressed until the institutions of liberal democracy are entirely undone. That is what the overturning of Roe legitimizes. And this is what the return of Ron means. It's why every paranoid extremist is celebrating the overturning as the very real milestone that it is in their crusade to end democracy. Ron left in January 2021 because the 6th and the 20th were crippling blows to the movement's legitimacy. And he's returned now because June 24th, 2022 brought that legitimacy back. Every Ron in our lives and on our screens is feeling the rising tide of American fascism's legitimacy. And of course it doesn't make any sense. Nothing about fascism makes sense. The point of fascism is to overcome political sense with violence. And the point of all of this is that these are our present circumstances, and Ron has just revealed them to us. I know how I sound in a lot of these essays. It can get pretty sappy. I probably talk about things like hope and perseverance a little too much. But if anyone gets annoyed with me talking about patience and love and democracy all the time, today is gonna be your day. Because I am not here to ask anyone to have hope. Hope is not for people who know that things are gonna get much worse before they have a chance to get better. What I will ask for is the grim determination of those who have no hope, but also have no choice. If you want truth to win and democracy to persist like they absolutely can, then you need to legitimize them. You need to show Ron that he is wrong, and that even though democracy is so grindingly frustrating, it's still infinitely better than the delusional crypto-fascist fantasies that he and his followers have in mind. So, for the love of God, or literally anything else, vote, demonstrate, volunteer, donate if you can. It's the only choice you have aside from giving up, and that's not a choice. And I swear to God, if you made it this far, don't you dare click away now without clicking on one of the opportunities in the description.
And I will make sure that your rights are kept. Thank you.
Thank you very much.